Yeah, AJ's having issues with Discord, I think. Um, let's wait one more minute. In the meantime, Matt, how was your weekend?
It was a good weekend. What
Did
did
you
I
do
do?
anything?
Nothing. It's like I always instantly forget what I did over the weekend. No, I got some. There is one thing I did that we'll announce once
Oh,
we get up and running, but took longer than I thought, but super cool. Um, but yeah, had an uneventful weekend, which was nice.
so I know. And I mean, I guess we can get to it as AJ comes in. I don't know if he's gonna be able to come in. There's something going on with his Discord. Um, just to talk a little bit about the collab with Verve and how it came out. I you know I read a lot of comments. Everybody's very happy on the way it came out. Um, and the best thing about this is you started it on the weekly events that you're hosting.
Yeah, did the whole thing on there pretty
So
much.
yes, so it's interesting because for those that are maybe listening and are not aware of what's going on those events, that piece was created at one of those, and I know the video is out. I believe we posted the video already, um, and it shows the progress and it shows the starting to end process of that one piece, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I want to reach out to the Verve team and kind of maybe after Mint see if we can transfer it over to them as an NFT that maybe they
Yeah,
can auction
definitely.
off or something. Um, so that's the idea for that one. And if not, then we'll do it ourselves. We probably just put it on our marketplace. Maybe that's another good idea. I think as an NFT that we can airdrop to someone who wants to uh, put some eggs or raffle, or we'll have to figure out which way. Um, but yeah, so that is some good news. That's a good collab that's coming up tomorrow on the marketplace. We are um, deciding right now how we're gonna release it. It looks like it's gonna be a raffle
Yep.
based on the votes. Initially, I posted it was gonna be a first come first serve, but based on the community's input, it looks like the raffle is the best option for this one. And I agree. I definitely we definitely don't want a gas war, and people losing money or paying a crazy amount of money to get the whitelist.
Yeah.
So AJ, you made it.
I did. Hi there. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
So,
We were talking about. Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say there's not much on our development or game side right now. I could talk about what we're doing in terms of the current next hot fix, but I'm really thinking today is kind of a if there's any pending questions from the audience day.
Yeah, I think that yeah, questions would be good. I know Matt has some updates for us. I kind of touched on the Verb collab,
Sure.
and I mean basically the approach. I mean we have a couple more. We have like two more coming this week. Um, maybe two or three. I have to go back and check the calendar, but um, we're trying to land good ones. And I mean Verb is an example. Um, we again, it's difficult, but we're doing the best we can. we are trying the approach of the art collaboration, which is, as you guys can see, I mean, it gives everybody, um, not just the chance to get the whitelist, but also to see the process as part of the events that Matt has been hosting, which I think it's pretty interesting. Um, and as those events get more popular, I think we're going to see some good content coming out of those. So again, it's on everybody's best interest to participate if possible.
The the studio days, I'm still really bullish on that. I think people who attend those streams are really learning about the creation process of a show. And
Yep.
I'm hoping, while there's not much, I mean, partnerships, but while we're in community first mode here, that's going to be the major driver of event information, um, show information, learning about being a producer. That's where we carry all of the weight. So I would say these AMAs are going to become, well, redundant, but the multiple studio days, I think, is going to be the really cool part. And
Yep.
we're working on trying to get some spaces calls with other people in the industry, other adjacent NFT projects, so that we can start providing more content from a perspective of actually having professionals in the space talk about making a show from an NFT and raising money for a show. Um, I'm hoping we can have one next week. Maybe this week is possible, but definitely next week. Maybe with Nate. Would that be a good, easy answer?
Yeah, we should definitely ask him. See if he's available.
For sure.
But yeah, just kind of going off what you guys are saying about the studio talks, it's like just so far we've already done a bunch of different aspects of like the production, which I think is really cool. Like I was a little worried going into the club, is like, is this going to be something that's interesting to people? But then it just wound up working perfectly, where it's like you get to see the idea creation from beginning to end, and the people that were there for it were, we were just chatting the whole time. And then um yeah, it was super rewarding for me too. But then it's like that is very much, it's like that's what a day in the life of an artist looks like. It's just like swapping tips, just talking. So it was a lot of fun.
Great. I mean, that's what we're hoping to hear.
Yep. And like as we go forward, like we've done a script, we've done like this collab was technically different from animation, but like the process, if like that's identical to what I would do when I'm drawing and coloring a background or whatever the case may be, like this all feeds into the creation of this entire project, and you're going to get to see every single aspect, which I think is super exciting. And it seems like people, I don't know if anyone on this call was in there, but it seems like everyone was really liking it too. So, and then of course, any requests or suggestions people have.
I think you cut out, Matt.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we lost
really?
Matt. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I was just saying, it's like you get to see every aspect of like like week after uh studio session after studio session, week after week, you get to see every different aspect of creation of an animated project. It's not just purely animation. There's so much else that goes into it, and we get to go in depth with that and have fun with it. But then I was also saying, like, if people do have um suggestions or stuff they do want to see, obviously we're open to that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
um, if we wanna maybe before we jump to Matt, I know a couple of quick announcements from the from Maury and the mods and the community side of things. Um, the DAO approved the games and the rewards for the games. So it's zero point 0.7 Ethereum on a monthly basis, and now we're trying to put together a schedule of events that we can host on the Discord with our members and holders, and we're deciding on what the giveaways would be or the prices would be. And I know one of the events or one of the games, what's going to be the based on the egg game, and whoever picks the closest, or whoever's closest to a number that we decide on. Maury asked me to pick a number while we're in the AMA. I'm not sure how we come up with that number, but I'm thinking right now there's 11 people in the audience, so maybe we say, whoever has the closest raid of eggs um, to number 11, then that person will win a prize for this month um, giveaway. What do you guys think about that, AJ and Matt?
I think that's totally fine. I
Love
want to
it.
make sure that people listening that that's not the only giveaway or contest. We're not just going off of 11 for the month and someone's getting zero point 0.7. We're also going to have
Oh
some
yeah, no.
some
there's
games.
there's there's games. We're trying to host two games a week. Then the egg event, which is the one we're hosting now, and then there's other things we have in mind. The quizzes. There's a quiz tomorrow. Maury's gonna work on that. So a couple of different things that will probably add some excitement to the Discord and the community. Um, some of the prices will be pirates and ziggies, which means that we're gonna buy. Um, if we have to, we're gonna have to buy some from the secondary market. So we'll do that, some of that as well when we need. But we'll announce everything on the Discord channels as we get to closer to the dates of each of the events. Okay, so now I think AJ, if I don't know if you have anything else you want to add about the
Sure.
game.
Yeah. So before Easter, we recognized that many of our members were feeling like they couldn't get a leg up on gathering any eggs. And while we can argue with them and say, well, you should claim more, there's a certain risk reward ratio that we have to pay attention to. And for people with very few ziggies or very few pirates, they're probably not generating many eggs. So we recognize that a person who's trying to build up enough eggs to get a claim and getting robbed occasionally is sucks. So we made a change to our entire search function, and I will try to make a more concrete vision of where the game is right now in the next week. But what's happening now is a pirate will search for a wallet, and it will then attack the wallet. And if the wallet has less than 5 eggs, the pirate will fail that raid. What that suggests then is your wallet is completely safe until you have 5 eggs. We also then lowered the max threshold of a pirate's roll to 70%, which means a pirate can only at max steal 70% of your unclaimed eggs. So if you are a user who just crossed that 5 egg threshold and a pirate hit the max roll, which is already a very few and far between chance, but that will happen. You will only lose 3.5 eggs, and that means you'll still have 1.5 to claim on. We're hoping that the more and more we go on that route, will give people a better chance to slowly accumulate their eggs. Maybe use eggs to enter raffles and feel like a part of the community. What we do know now is, well, less than 20% of current wallets have more than 5 eggs at any real point. So most pirate raids are going to fail. What we're going to introduce in the next week or so is going to be pirates taking odd jobs, which is more of a way of giving back to the community and letting pirates provide some effective value instead of constant failures. Because you don't want your history tab to be just full of zeros. So, what's going to happen in the next week or so is if a pirate fails a raid, then there is a 55% chance that pirate will not come home empty handed and they'll take an odd job and they'll do something else with their time to find eggs. Whether it is working a job, selling a sneaker, or winning the lottery or calling their mom for money, there is a way that a pirate will bring home eggs so that pirates can have an effective rate that is a little below Ziggy, which I hope is really fun. So that then means that more than 70% of pirate raids will be successful, and your effective rate of a pirate's theft is now going to be closer to 1.7 eggs a day, which is great, which is what we were hoping to have across the board. And so we're going to see more unclaimed eggs in wallets, and when we have more unclaimed eggs in wallets, we will see more wallets above 5, and we'll see pirates then going on more raids and stealing more eggs. The equilibrium process will keep fluctuating, and in the long tail of this, we'll see probably about 80% of pirates going on raids. That will be in about 2 weeks, which is when we'll check in and see how this game is comparing. But I hope that makes you feel like your pirates are worth more, and that while we're pulling these collaborations and bringing these raffles to you with egg-based raffles, I hope you're feeling like your participation in the game is being rewarded and your staking is being rewarded. And I hope as we increase the enthusiasm about the show and we have people attending these AMAs and attending our upcoming spaces and attending studio calls with Matt, you start seeing that we are a community. We totally had a fall off when our Discord was hacked and we had so many members banned. And I feel terrible about that, but we're trying to rebuild for that point. And I hope that, this April will bring, May now, will bring people closer to the team. And when we do have the show sale, we're going to have a bunch of people who were able to say, I was here before that, which is really exciting to me. I can jump to questions. We can open up the floor if anyone has anything to ask.
Yeah, the floor is always open. And while people ask questions, and maybe we take a little bit of time to go through the different chats. I know that has lots of stuff that he wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
we actually have.
So maybe we have the questions for the.
Yeah, we have quite a few small updates. So this past week, the biggest of these updates is the past week I took a meeting with someone at Boom Studios, and they do a lot of. They used to do entirely IP-based comics, but now they kind of have this pretty incredible roster of original comics, and basically pitched Dino Babies to them, and they're like, "This is such an obvious yes," and so that that train is moving forward. We are working on making a graphic novel, which is super, super cool. Not entirely sure what the timeline on that is, but we're moving forward with that too. And then
When
the
can
other
we expect
big.
an update on that? That's pretty.
What's that?
I wish we led with that one.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
need to really talk more often about our agenda schedule. Because I'm talking about game updates, and you're talking about we successfully licensed Dino Babies to a comic book company.
we haven't signed any paperwork or anything yet, because this woman, she works at Boom, but she's just really good at shepherding projects to where they need to go. And we were kind of going back and forth, is this something we want to go more towards this Scholastic audience, that ends up in book fairs and stuff like that? But me personally, I'm slightly less interested in that, although it would still be great if that's the route we end up taking. But I'm not sure if we've talked about this on an AMA. I know if me, AJ, and Camilla have talked about this a lot. Is like that's the more traditional publishing route, and that just takes a lot longer. There's a lot more fingers in the pie, a lot more opinions on things. And if we take the just comic book, either monthly comic or trade paperback route, we're selling directly to the direct market, and we can just get something out way, way faster. And I was even asking her, like, because she has the, what would you call it? Just like um, infrastructure in place, like all the people that we would need to hire that you don't think about when you're making a comic that just help streamline the entire process. So it was a really exciting call. She loved the idea, and we were basically completely on the same page. And then hopefully soon I'll have even more concrete updates on that. I mean, it's like what's kind of awesome about a comic is you have way more freedom than animation. Like there's like her that's the wall of executives you have to get approval from, and that's pretty much it. And and we already have the script, so we can just keep going, and it all works together to help us achieve our eventual goal.
Well, that's great news.
Yeah.
I'm really upset we didn't have a call before this. Just the order of
We're
this.
saving it. We're saving it. We're
Okay.
buttering people up.
Okay, cool. So let's pause on that one and discuss what that means for the entirety of the brand and what that means for the show. Because yes,
Yeah.
having a comic alone already is an artifact that most NFT projects don't achieve, and we're just casually dropping it in a, no offense to our listeners, but a 14-person town hall. So let's be clear about this one. A comic book is real revenue. A comic book
Yes.
is real nationwide distribution. A
Yep.
comic book is extreme media exposure, and a comic book is a real artifact that holders of our group can receive. So that's a bunch of real things. But then beyond that, let's talk about Dino Babies as a multimedia brand. What does having a comic book mean for a show?
It is it can be the I mean, it means a lot of different things. Like for me, it's like whenever I go into any of these things, there's always that like value equation. It's like, does this get me closer towards my true goal of making a show? And it's like the answer is obviously yes. Like when you look at other projects, it's like I don't know if I've talked about it or if you guys have heard about it, but the show on Netflix called Kipo and the Wonder Beasts, it's like they had a one issue comic, and that was picked up by DreamWorks and sold to Netflix. So like it really can be that that small of an artifact, like one issue in this, when everyone's trying to buy properties and develop anything they can. It's like it can be that simple. And then on the other side, it's like obviously like Kipo is one example. It's like it was not a popular or successful comic. It was just a kind of cool comic that got developed. And then there's the other side of like the like Strange Planet, the little blue people Instagram comic. It's like that is a successful comic that has a successful product line behind it. And that is what, like, if we can hope, fingers crossed, get to that point, that's where when we do negotiate that deal, that's where that negotiation takes a turn much, much more in our favor. And the fact that we're also like speeding ahead on making actual merch and toys and plush, it's like, yeah, there's no way this is doesn't help us a lot, but it kind of depends on what happens with the comic. But it could really shoot us into the stratosphere, which is what I'm hoping. But I had another
That's really
example.
good. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
no, yeah,
linked I linked the website there on on the general chat. I mean, we I guess we'll have to make it a bigger announcement once things are, I guess, more settled.
Yeah,
Um,
and this is like, um,
I mean, we're in the early stages, right? It's
yeah, we had one meeting, but it was like an amazing meeting. You know what I mean?
right,
Like, they're like, yes, we need to do
and
this.
and these
So
are things we can actually say.
yeah, that's what's really cool about comics. Like even Marvel comics and DC, it's like they just don't keep that tight. Like obviously they're like, don't spoil the issue or whatever. But like those artists post all kinds of shit on Instagram. So
Right.
it's just a much more, animation is so locked down in a way that comics is not, which is really exciting. And it works towards our goal, and we create an artifact with beautiful artwork, and yeah, it's just going to be really really cool.
Well, that's really good to hear. Um, I don't know, AJ, if you want to add anything else on this.
We just need to start. I'm. We need to start really talking about it. That's all. I'm really excited. We didn't even
Yep.
intend that to walk out of this with a comic book, but we're going to make a comic series, and there's a bunch of rewards we can give holders about it. There's real revenue for the DAO. There's a lot of amazing parts of this, and I'm
And
I wish we had a better way of announcing this plan, but I'm
well,
excited, and we'll just
and
talk
the
about
I
it
thing,
think
next time.
when we will, yeah, this is just for the people here. Like I don't think we need to make an
Matt, you're totally cutting out.
is it me or my inner? Oh, okay.
official announcement
That's kind
until we have something a little more solid in place. But like, especially this is
I'm
just
sure this is very impassioned.
Matt, you're a
to
robot right
me,
now.
the creator. It's like having the comic going. Okay, I'm kidding. Like me as the creator, it's like getting to try to do it this way, this way. It, it the more chances we have.
I'm sure it was a really great speech.
I think, yeah, it
Can
was
you
probably
guys
a
hear me?
good one. You're breaking up like really bad.
No, man. Can you
I'm
hear me now?
Um,
very. I mean, I can hear you right now, but I am confident that the minute you start talking again, it's going to cut out.
Okay. I was just saying it's like I was on a roll. But
You were on a roll. That's the problem.
yeah.
well,
um
this is what I like to say. We're announcing it early enough for people to understand, people to know this is, we're in the early stages. Now we're also announcing which company we're gonna potentially be working with, which this is big because now it's not like, oh, we're making our own comic. We're gonna have XYZ company do it. No, no, we're saying we're gonna work with. I don't know if it's one of the biggest, but
Boom.
it
Yeah.
is.
it is. It's like if you go into any comic book store in the entire
Right.
country and possibly the world, you will see Boom Studios
It
comics
it's
there. I'm not entirely sure how that they have their own structure and all that, and we'll figure that out as we go, but this is the real deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a big brand. It's not like
Yeah.
your mom and shop store at the or the online service where you can just make a comic
Yeah,
book.
exactly.
It's this is a
it,
whole company that we're dealing with right now.
there's Marvel, there's DC, there's Dark Horse, there's
Which is
Boom.
DC.
Oh, DC bought them?
Yeah, a while back, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. So there's no one in the industry anymore.
There's
Yeah.
Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, and like then you get into the smaller presses like Oni and even
Okay,
super
so
smaller
there
ones,
you go.
like
We got in
yeah,
the top four. So
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
like
Viz,
this is
Oni,
good.
Titan, Dynamite. Those are like the ones that I know that are all like really small and niche.
Dynamite is a tiny one. Yeah, they make like like red sonja and stuff, like, I think. But, and then just so the people here know, it's like basically the next step is, and I'll be doing this in the studio sessions, you can actually literally watch me draw this. It's like we need to create 5 sample pages. I think it's 5, and that is what really sells the comic. It's like, okay, this is like, anyone could say, oh, I want to make a comic based on this, but can you actually make a comic? So the next step in this process is for me to work on those 5 pages, and they will definitely be done in the studio streams. So you guys
And
will
we're
get to
gonna tease
see
the
it
fuck out
happen.
of it too.
Yeah.
So this is even better because now we're saying, okay, look, we're gonna make a comic, and then the studio hours with Matt. Matt's gonna work on some of the initial um, artwork that's gonna be, used for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, for those that are listening, make sure you guys join and participate. You know.
Yep.
And it's very important to let everyone know because there's going to be questions of I thought you were making a show. Uh, Very important to point out that having a multimedia IP makes it harder for a massive network to say no.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest reward in all of this.
He said massive.
Yep.
Just remember that.
Yes, and that's, you bring up a really good point, and that was kind of my whole thing going into this. It's like I want to make a comic. We're going to make a comic, but it can't be at the expense of the show. Like I don't want to delay any of it by 6 months or whatever. So it's like as we move into this next phase, it is very tactically making these decisions and like, okay, what is the best way to do it? And I don't have all those answers at this exact moment, but like AJ says, it's like we are not changing the goal. We are still very much, we are making a show based on this NFT project. That will never change.
So with that in mind, what's your second announcement? What
So the
else did
second
you not tell
announcement,
us on this?
I told you guys this.
He's gonna say it's something greater than the comic book, and then we're gonna say, okay.
I wish it was greater than that, but we now officially have our first Dino Babies merch in hand. It is real. I've seen it. I've made it. We have Dino Babies t-shirts that are super, super sick, and Dino Babies dad hats. So
Ooh, I
we
didn't see
gotta
the hat.
figure out the hat. I don't have a picture of yet,
Oh, okay.
because like I was gonna try and find a different way to embroider them. It just didn't make sense. And then I know this guy who has a little shop in downtown, and long story short, his machine wasn't set up to embroider hats, but they are done, or they're at least in the process of being made right now. So, and then the shirt, like I've seen the final embroidery, it looks incredible. And what's really super cool about this is because I know the guy and he's just a really cool guy, is we can embroider anything we want. Like we're starting with just a Ziggy and an egg, but we can do custom stuff, like not like custom, but there's a lot of opportunities to grow and like different pirates and all kinds of cool stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And from our side of it, we see a lot of great ways to monetize and bring eggs into the merch world. So I definitely expect being able to exchange eggs for a discount, if not totally free, merch
Yeah.
coming very soon.
Yeah. And like, yeah, we can start expanding too. So well, the shirts and the hats are the first step. And then we do obviously want to hear from everyone in the community. Like, what kind of stuff do you guys want? Because the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, so with merch, I mean, there's logistics and things we got to deal with, and we got to figure out.
Yeah.
We'll we'll be posting some of that info very soon. Um, so two updates, really good updates.
Are there more?
I don't know.
I mean, just there's this small update that they've already begun. Like, I assume everyone has seen and knows about the plush and like what's going on with that. But like, we got our first sample back. I gave, I won't say like extensive notes, but they didn't quite get right, which was to be expected. Um, and they're already working on that. And they've quoted me end of April to have the new sample in hand. I just knowing that it has to come back and forth from China, I feel like that is an ambitious date, but fingers crossed. Um, just running full steam ahead on that one too. So,
Okay.
big things are happening quickly.
Okay.
The basic goal there is
Um.
lumpy. So
Yeah. I told him I was like, I don't know how to translate this to Chinese, but like, it needs to be chunkier. It's not-
Any if anybody has questions, please raise your hands. Or go into chat and ask your questions.
yeah.
man, we
I
need to
have
put
the
together a very different promotional campaign to talk about a comic book.
yeah.
Just- yeah.
What's really great is they would, I think, handle that.
Well, I mean, from our own accounts, we have to still
Gotcha. Yeah.
co-brand and co-talk about it.
Yeah.
A nice retweet from them would look very cool on,
Love that, yeah, for sure.
I just checked their Twitter. They have 125,000 followers, so
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, awesome. Really,
just
really
gave
awesome.
them a follow as well. So, Um but yeah, that would be
That
really really cool.
I there was a thing that I forgot to mention that I think anyone listening will be give you hope that this is the right way to go. Is like the woman I was talking to, she oversaw like the Adventure Time license comics. Like she has properties of like shepherding things and making them high quality and yeah, she's like a very legit person. This is a legit company. So
Nice. Well, that's really nice.
yeah. I think Rick and Morty too. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
Wow. So, I don't see any hands raised. See in the chat.
Are we accidentally going to be one of the first NFT comics?
Um, I haven't. Well, I guess. I mean, there's so many projects out there. Maybe we're just not aware of. And then also the definition of comic. I think.
You're right.
Um,
I
you
think we're
know,
ready for nationally distributed comic.
yes, that's yeah. That is you. You got that right because I could say I can make a comic myself
Yeah.
and throw a couple of things and make some, and print it and give it to my holders and say I
Right.
made a comic,
I would call that a zine, but yeah, I understand.
right? So maybe we could be the first. Again, we don't know what the timing is involved, but well, I guess soon enough we'll find out. But
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
this is good. I mean, this is good. Once we're
Yeah.
fully like going fully like marketing on this, I think it's really interesting. Hopefully, we'll see um, you know some nice response from the community on this. Like we said, I mean, it's just a cherry on top uh, to the whole idea of creating a show. Not just creating a show, but we also, like you said, AJ, it's a multimedia IP. Um, we have
Like
different things going. So merch, comics, the show itself.
yeah, it's just like another way to extend the reach and longevity of the brand. I think like I don't see this happening, but it's like in today's day and age, it's like just a show. It's like on an original IP. It's like that would be amazing. That would be cool. And I think I'm confident enough in our abilities to pull this off that it will be good. But it's like having this other arm of the project. It's like it keeps us in the public consciousness longer, and that only benefits our holders and every aspect of the project itself. So I think this is huge.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Cool, great, man. I'm I'm excited about this, and I'm trying to think about now how do we promote this and how do we make it unique on chain as well for our longtime fans and holders. But
Oh,
this is
Monty. Sorry, Monty wants to come in.
I
okay.
do have some ideas on that, but we'll talk as times
Yeah.
go, you know.
Well, Bliss is also listening, so I'm sure he's thinking about this too.
Yeah.
Monty.
Hey guys.
Hi, Monty.
Um, yeah, that sounds really good. But I think we're not the first to have a comic. Have you guys heard of Huxley? I think it's called Huxley. I'm not sure. I think they already have a comic, but don't pinpoint me on it. Actually, I had a question. I've been thinking about. I think I chatted with AJ about this, but I just wanted to bring it up again because I wasn't too sure how it's gonna go down. Because when we talk about the revenue that we like give to the holders, I was sort of interested in how, or if we could talk about how that's gonna happen. Like, is it just gonna be for the Dino Baby holders, or do you need like a Dino Baby and a pirate, or have you guys thought of that?
So what we're talking about is you're asking how do you extract value from the DAO, and the the way the DAO is structured is that it is an independent company to Dino Babies NFT, and the DAO and the DAO right now issues eggs as a governance token for voting on how the DAO operates, a lot like a board member at a company. In fact, the way it's structured is the DAO votes on all important decisions, and only egg holder votes matter. There is, to prevent this from making eggs a security, there is no written dividend, investment value, or payoff on how eggs extract value from the DAO. I will say then there are other DAOs out there that have paid out their token holders, but those were discrete events that happened from a egg holder vote that was a liquidation of the DAO assets. However, what if and when that time happens for the Dino Babies DAO, that would be a unique event that is not scheduled and not planned. And we are saying that because while the DAO itself is an investor and a company that's getting revenue, we do not want to consider or call eggs a security, because that would then mean we have to KYC every member of this community, and we have to have you be accredited investors or a membership status of ownership and equity. And what we have here is governance operating under the DAO structure. This is a long way of saying I do not, there is, the DAO controls how it operates its own money, and that's written into our bylaws, and that's the structure of the company. And until there is a vote for liquidation, there is no shareholder or guarantee return on investment. And that is strategically done so that we can say governance tokens are just governance tokens. You'll see lesser companies that care less about their legality say one egg equals one egg. What that really does mean, though, is we have because of the way we're structured in our security system, there is no methodology that says one egg equals $1. And
Okay.
until that is the way, and until that does exist, our operating element here lets you stay anonymous, lets you stay on chain, lets you stay in your own structure.
So basically, when the liquidity pool is open, that's like when it's possible to talk about that. Is that what you're saying, or?
It's possible to talk about it at any time a proposal comes across and the DAO votes on it. But until the DAO votes on it, there's no discussion really. I cannot do anything to pay a member or have a member take money out that doesn't go through approval.
Okay.
And so,
but that's good, because for me it was just important to know sort of for the future holders, like the holders now holding, whether it's going to be sort of the revenue paid out of the egg.
sure.
Or just like if I don't know, I've seen some DAOs that just use the holders of NFT, sort of make them accountable.
When I've seen DAOs that do initiate a liquidity event, they're usually doing a distribution proportionate to the amount of governance token a member holds.
Sorry, I didn't want to bore everyone with this, but it's just one of the questions I sort of had in the last week.
I've been asked, actually, this question's come up a lot recently. I definitely am aware people are trying to understand the utility in this project, and beyond the utility, what they get out of it. And to, again, present this as not a security by any standards, you are not a shareholder. The governance token controls every aspect of the DAO. And the DAO, and until the DAO decides to issue any sort of payment, or if the DAO decides to issue a payment, then it's going to be up to the DAO to figure out how to distribute those funds. But myself, Camilo, Matt, our legal team at Ham Law, and Nate have no control over how the DAO distributes its money without a proposal vote to back it up.
Okay.
And I'm saying that more for everyone else listening. I understand you got it, Monty. I just wanted to make sure everyone understands that our utility here is based off of what the ever-evolving nature of the DAO can be.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure thing.
Crypto Bull, you have a question? You can go ahead.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey there.
So yeah, well, just off of what Manu was talking about, yeah, I will never let go of my Ziggy or my Pirate. So whether it pays out or not, it's just going to be a keeper. But my question is going to go back to my question a few weeks ago, which is the voice acting. Whenever you guys are just this time frames or timeline on when you guys are expecting to audition or what have you. Thanks, guys.
Matt, if you
Yeah.
want to take that one.
So that is, we don't have a clear 100% timeline, but like, so basically the next step on the animation side is I'm doing the storyboard. I've started very, very roughly on that, but in the next, I think the next studio session, I'm not doing it, but maybe on Saturday I will. But once we have that storyboard, and it doesn't even have to be in that complete of a phase, that's when we will bring in voice acting and stuff. And because we're doing it all ourselves, like that's pre bringing in, hopefully by the time this process is complete, we'll bring in some A-list talent. But like at the very least, get people in there for the animatic, and you never know, your voice might make it all the way to the final product too. So it's not that far off as far as concrete timelines. I'm not too sure yet, but it's coming.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, brother.
Of course.
If anybody else has any questions, use the IMA questions. Let's say here. Do you see partnering with another NFT group making a series for advisor input like Society of Hourglass, for example?
I just did want to say one more thing about voice acting really quick because it popped into my head. That would be, once we are at that point, like a studio session where we do a voice recording or maybe even multiple of them, like voice directing, like that would be a side of the animation process that I've seen a lot of because I work in the industry, but like I've never seen it anywhere else. Like, because that's such a huge point as directors, like going through takes and then like really breaking down, line to line and how to like every aspect of that. I think that could be a really cool, at least one or two studio sessions. Get a lot of people involved. Get people on voice, record, and actually make that into the animatic. That'd be super cool.
And the animatic is what studios are going to see about Dino Babies, so it's pretty great.
Yeah, and I guess I should probably say this. The animatic is actually what we send to the animation studio. That is the final complete thing that then people go and animate on top of. Like animatics are actually pretty animated, but they need like in-betweens and polishing, and then you add color and everything. So as we go through, this is all going to make more and more sense. But yeah, animatic is really bringing the script to life with drawings and posing and facial expressions and all that cool stuff.
It's really exciting next month, to say the least. We're so quiet on here, but it's a really great upcoming month of bunch of stuff's gonna get pushed out in front of you, and I'm hoping that's people have asked about. Hey, we need to have more social presence. We need to have more marketing. We're gonna have a bunch of solid artifacts to talk about and display online, and really add some concrete stuff to the NFT space.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have questions? Nobody? Last call for questions.
Well, it's a short call. We'll definitely have more concrete, and we might switch back to spaces for bigger talks about how we're changing the industry. But
Yep.
we'll have a bunch more to talk about next week. I now need to catch up with everyone, understand what's going on.
Okay, so I think we're gonna call it a day, and then thank you everybody for joining, for participating. We will make the announcements on the games. Hopefully, tomorrow we'll announce the process of submitting your entry for the closest rate to 11 eggs. We'll post those instructions tomorrow, and we'll share what prices will be given out in the upcoming events for games for this week or this month. We'll see how it plays out, and yeah, we'll keep you all updated on anything else that comes up.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Really great to hear from you.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks
so I'm gonna
everybody.
call it a day on this, and have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Monty.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.